So I have my assistant that's going to switch light for me, so I'm going to have to make weird moves all the time, say, hey, please don't forget me. Alright, so I'm going to mainly talk about Assassin's Creed Unity through the historical and the art aspect of the game. We're trying to find our beat together, it's the first time.
Mi sentite?
Sì.
Ok. Chiaramente si è presentato, ha detto che adesso con i suoi assistenti vi farà vedere delle parti di quello che è l'elemento artistico del gioco, che è quello di cui vi parlerà lui.
So this is my face, and this is Mohamed Gambouz, the art director. I'm really doing that presentation on behalf of the two of us because it's really a presentation that talks about level design and world building, and of course art direction and how we build Paris according to that art direction.
Ok, quindi questa presentazione viene fatta da lui, ma anche per conto del suo partner, che come art director si occupa insieme a lui di tutti i diversi livelli di design che compongono il videogame. Sono quelli che stava dicendo prima, cioè del design, ma anche la parte più artistica e più artistica.
Sì, artistica. So, but really the work comes from the team. This is just a Montreal team, more than 300 people. We're 10 studios working on the game for over 4 years, about 1,000 people working on this, so this is not just for the whole team, but this is really the work I'm going to present is the work of those people, not just mine. It would be too much of me to take.
Chiaramente questo lavoro non è soltanto un lavoro nostro, è un lavoro del team di 300 persone con in più migliaia quasi di persone che sono state impegnate a diversi livelli nel testing del gioco.
Sorry, can you come back? I think I was here. Alright, so let's go into the subject. We're going to talk about Paris. This is really the point of the conversation today. And I'm going to talk first about urbanism and how we had to make the layout, so the spreading of the city for SCU. This is the first thing we tackle. This is a very complex subject, so I'm first going to talk about urbanism.
Quindi per prima cosa vi parlerò di Parigi. L'argomento di questa conferenza è più che altro questo, cioè capire la complessità e la diversità dell'approccio alla rappresentazione di un ambiente urbano.
Alright, so it's not really complex, just that to give you an idea, we have to make a city which was the Paris of the French Revolution, so 1789 to 1794. So what you see here is the gray outline, so the big outline is the outline of the Paris we have nowadays in 2014. The red outline is the size of the city during the French Revolution.
Si tratta di Parigi durante la rivoluzione francese, quindi dal 1789 circa al 1794, e quella che vedete è il contorno più grande è Parigi com'è adesso, mentre il contorno in rosso più piccolo è Parigi com'era all'epoca.
As we can see, the number we have here are the neighborhoods in Paris. This is the first arrondissement that had been created in Paris by the time. It was 14 back then, and as you can see, the closer you are to the center of the city, the smaller the arrondissements are, and that's because it gets denser and denser the closer you are. As for many European cities, the city is building up historically from the center, so the closer you are to the center, the denser it is.
Parigi è divisa in arrondissement, che sono appunto le piccole suddivisioni amministrative. Come vedete, quelle del centro sono molto più piccole perché sono anche quelle più dense. Parigi, come tutte le città europee, è stata costruita a partire dal centro, quindi poi si è espansa. Il centro quindi è molto più densamente popolato.
Right, so that's something we had to take into account when building the city, because yes, we made a historical, accurate Paris, but it's also a video game, so we have to make sure the playground is the best we can, and to do that we have to make sure the world is divided with a homogeneous spread of the landmarks, which is going to be our next problem.
Okay. Però non si tratta chiaramente soltanto di rendere in maniera accurata e filologicamente corretta come era Parigi dell'epoca. Questo è un gioco e quindi deve essere tutto giocabile. Ci vuole un'interazione fra il modo in cui si gioca e i diversi landmark che si possono riconoscere.
So we had to find a new way to scale down the city. Before that, we always take the whole city and we divide it with a normal scale, so a fourth, a third, but that was the scale we had for the city. So for Paris, we tried something totally different and new. we used for the first time a radial scale. It means we had to, the closer you are to the center, the more one-to-one the scale is, and the more distant you are from the center, then the scale gets to get smaller and smaller.
Okay, quindi abbiamo usato delle scale diverse. Man mano che arrivavamo verso il centro, la scala che abbiamo usato era più vicina possibile alla scala 1:1, mentre andando verso l'esterno erano scale un pochino più piccole, tipo 1:3.
To give you an idea, the Paris of the time was in what we call the Great Axis, so from the southeast to the northwest, around 8.5 kilometers long. In the game, we ended up having a bit more than 2 kilometers long, so it's a bit of a global quarter scale, but it's really different depending on the radial scale.
Ok, quindi l'asse totale sono circa 8 km e mezzo da sud-est fino a nord-ovest. Quello che usa durante il gioco, during the game, the axis that you...
Yeah, the Great Axis.
Okay.
The grande axis.
Okay, so this is what the game is around.
Yeah, it's really a principle in Paris. That's what's been used for the city depiction. It's really, we have an axis which is the longest axis in Paris, which is called the Great Axis. And this is the red arrow you see here.
Questo è sostanzialmente l'asse più lungo di Parigi e intorno a questo che si svolge poi tutto il gioco.
So that's a very interesting thing for you guys. It's a comparison between our game and the games we shipped before. You see the green thing on the right side is AC2 Florence. The gray outline is AC3 New York, and what you have behind is AC Paris. So before AC Unity, the biggest city ever made was AC3 New York. And for AC Unity to make Paris the biggest city we could, it's at least 7 times as big as AC3 New York. So it's a very massive scale. And the number we give is usually that ACU Paris is at least 4 times as big as all of AC4 Black Flags, drawing and mass combined. It's a bit of an abstract number. It's the biggest city ever made, basically, on AC.
Okay. Quindi come vedete questa è una tabella comparativa delle altre città che sono state sviluppate prima, e questa che abbiamo sviluppato adesso, quindi Parigi, è fino a 4 volte più grande delle altre ma messe insieme, quindi tutte le altre città che sono state sviluppate prima non avevano niente a che vedere con il livello di dettaglio e complessità di questo.
So this is the outline it gives us. You see the city is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the layout of Paris, but you see the islands are a bit oversized compared to the old city, but everything is in the right place. You have the left bank, so the south part of Paris, the right bank, the north side of Paris, and the idea is that you see those islands are really dense, and you see the density here is spread evenly, but this is the Paris we have in the game right now. It's a screenshot I took a few days before.
Non so se avete familiarità con la mappa di Parigi, ma è veramente esattamente Parigi com'è. Vedete la riva sinistra e la riva destra del fiume, che sono queste aree densamente popolate con l'île della Cité nel mezzo.
So another thing the scale, radial scale allows us to do is the idea that you have to put the things in the right place. So, is it working? Right, I'm a bit cheeky here because it's a game that I loved. It's a Paris that was made from an EA game called The Saboteur. And it's in a game in which you have to play a French resistant in Paris against the Nazi German. And this is the Paris they had. So you see the Ile d'Este is really small and weird. You have the landmarks are not positioned properly. And if you go up a building, what you see is this. It looks mainly like Paris, but it's not really the real thing.
Sorry, I need to ask you. It's like I really can't hear you with a microphone.
Oh, you have a...
Everything I need to be here. No, yeah.
Alright, so I will say that again in English then. This is the map from The Saboteur, made in EA in 2007. And it's in a game in which you play a French person, actually, it's an American guy against the German, the Nazis. And this is the Paris they had to remake for the open world. It shows you what not to do in an open world game because every landmark is in a weird position to one another.
Okay, questa è una mappa di un altro gioco che si chiama Saboteur. È una mappa in cui durante la seconda guerra mondiale devi giocare contro i nazisti. Ed è una mappa in cui ci sono tutti mi sentite lo stesso? Sì.
È meglio per il microfono.
Ok. Quindi questa è la mappa di questo gioco con tutti i landmark al loro posto.
So what we end up having for Paris is it's not. So what you have to understand is that we're not exactly remaking Paris. We're doing the best we can to make the best idea of Paris, and that's important for us. We're not again a historical simulation; we're a video game, but we need to make sure that the city we deliver is the essence of Paris. That's a bit of an example. If you go to the next slide, Matt. Yeah. Right, so this is more of the idea you want to have. So you kind of recognize him, you know it's him, but it's his own idea of being him, but you can still recognize who he is, and that's a bit of the same comparison we have. I think the image speaks for itself.